Back, everybody. We got our buddy Chef Chris Kizer here with us this morning, and he's got something seasonal but also really creative for us this morning. So I'll let you take it away, man.
Absolutely. So today we're going to be making a pumpkin risotto. As promised last time I was on, we're going to learn how to do it today. It's a very basic dish to make. However, it's for a lot of people it seems intimidating, but as we were talking about before this, it is super easy to do.
Okay.
So what I've got started here is in the middle pot. I really wish we had glass sauce pots that we could use so you could see it. Right. We've got a vegetable stock here that is nice and hot. And we've also got our saute pan. So we're going to start our saute pan. And we're going to go ahead and get our rice. This is arborio rice that you can pick up at any grocery store, really. It's going to be in the rice section. But it is specifically the rice you want to use for risotto. So similar to like a Mexican rice, we're going to want to start by toasting our rice just a little bit. And at the same time that we're toasting this, we're going to go ahead and throw in a little bit of our onions to start giving it a little bit of flavor. We're going to take a couple of these pods of garlic. Pop them open real quick for us.
Okay.
Straight into the pan.
Yeah.
Now you can already kind of hear the rice starting to sizzle, pop a little bit. We're not looking for a whole lot of color to it. We're just looking for a slight bit of texture on the outside.
Right.
So that way when we start adding this stock in, that it's actually going to still have a nice crunch to it.
Okay.
Now the stock itself, you can start to see now it's almost coming to a boil. We want it to be really hot because as this pan gets hot, obviously we don't want to put cold liquid into it because it's going to bring that temperature right back down.
Right.
And what that's going to do in the long run is it's going to produce a very mushy rice or risotto, which is just not the end result that you want to have.
And actually, you were saying, you know, risotto is one of those dishes. It sounds intimidating, but it's actually not that hard to make.
No, not at all. So we've got a basic. This is just a basic risotto, but you can do any separate variation you want. I've had friends that do apple and bacon. I do butternut squash. Carrot's really good. Mushrooms risotto is good. But what we've got started here is the basic risotto. Adding in the pumpkin kind of just gives it its own touch. So if you wanted to do something else, this would be the time to add in your mushrooms, carrots, whatever.
Okay.
Now you're just going to coat your rice pretty well. Again, we're just building those flavors before adding in our stock.
So you're just trying to coat the rice with it, not so much drown it in the...
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, and again, this is kind of up to your personal preference and taste.
Right.
I don't really want the whole dish to just taste like pumpkin. I still want you to be able to taste the richness of the stock, the garlic, and the onions. But again, if you're a pumpkin lover or a gourd lover, you could absolutely do that. So basically right now, we are basically ready to go ahead and add in our liquid.
Okay.
So we're going to add enough liquid to go ahead and cover the rice itself, just barely. Now this is the part of the process that takes the longest.
Right.
Because we've got to let the water come to a boil here, and then we're going to let that slowly reduce. Now we don't want it to be at a full rolling boil. We want it to be kind of at a simmer to where we're just getting those bubbles.
Kind of like it is now.
Exactly.
Okay.
This process right here, from here to where we get to in the next segment, it's going to take us probably about 15 minutes to maybe 20 minutes. Again, you don't want to really want to rush it.
Right.
But as the liquid starts to cook down, you're going to add, obviously you're going to want to taste it. And if the rice is still a little hard, you just add your liquid until that rice gets to the texture you want it to be.
Okay. And in addition, you were saying that it's, you know, we're all trying to save a buck where we can.
Absolutely.
And you were saying all of this together, you spent less than $20 on this whole meal.
Yes.
Wow.
And even what we're making now is only a fraction of the arborio rice that we got itself.
Right.
So we could do probably double to triple the amount that we're doing right now off the same amount of ingredients.
Wow.
And it goes a really long way.
Man, see, I watch a lot of Gordon Ramsay shows and like risotto. They're always making risotto and stuff on there. So I was one of those. I was intimidated when you said risotto, and so it's like now I'm sitting here like, okay, it's not that bad.
No, not at all, not at all. It is just one of those things. You have to be patient with it and not rush the process because again, most of those chefs, especially on like Hell's Kitchen and that. They're very much trying to rush that process, and if you're not ahead on that, then you're definitely behind.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely not nearly as intimidating as everyone thinks it is.
Awesome. Well, don't go anywhere, everybody. We are in the studio kitchen with Chef Chris. We got the finishing touches on his pumpkin risotto this morning. I think I said it right.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay,
Normally,
cool.
I'm the one that's tongue-tied, though. And
It's Monday, man. It's early. So talk to us. What you got?
So as you can see now, guys, most of that water itself has evaporated out of this. You can see there's a little bit left, but it kind of almost looks like a thickened version of the liquid itself.
Right.
What causes that is there's so much starch in the rice itself that it cooks out, and that's actually going to help thicken it, which gives it that creamy consistency.
Okay.
A good way to also tell it's done, besides trying it with the spoon, when you pull back in the middle, it should basically stay like a canyon. The stuff shouldn't really slide back together, and that's where you know you really have the consistency you want.
Okay.
So from here, we're going to go ahead and do our finishing touches. We're going to add in Parmesan, and you can add in any kind of cheese here. I almost picked up some Asiago at the store because it was kind of calling my name. But anything's fine. I've even seen people use blue cheese in risotto.
Okay.
There is not really a wrong option here. At the same time, too, we're going to go ahead and throw in some butter. And we still have this on probably a medium-high heat. That way, the cheese and butter can start to melt. And we're really trying to just emulsify those in there and just get a really nice coating on the outside.
Okay.
And you're going to see the risotto is going to start to become stringy and pull apart a lot. And that's exactly what you're looking for.
Now, the butter and the cheese, is that just like additional flavor and texture, or?
Yes, and
Okay.
traditionally risotto is finished with butter and cheese. Some other restaurants in town and stuff will use and finish it with heavy cream just to help add to that creamy texture.
Okay.
I prefer to just use the butter and cheese, and then there's enough dairy really in the cheese itself to achieve the same consistency. It just takes a little longer.
Okay.
And so now that we've got our butter and cheese almost all the way melted,
Yeah.
we're going to go ahead and throw in our herbs. This is, again, just some fresh parsley we picked from the herb garden at the church. And we want to throw the herbs in last, just so that way they don't start to burn, they don't get bitter, and they really maintain and keep their color. That's also going to add a lot of aromatics. You're going to start to smell them here pretty quick.
Yeah.
And again, when they figure out the technology on how we can let the viewers at home smell it, we're going to be on a gold mine.
That smell-o-vision.
And this is pretty much exactly what we're looking for right here. As you can see, the risotto itself is still runny, but it still kind of is firm. So all we would do now, like I was telling you beforehand, this is done. It's a great appetizer by itself, but you can also use it as a good side dish or accompaniment for anything. I suggested beforehand this would go great with some fish. If you did like a pan-seared salmon, the pumpkin risotto, and maybe some broccolini or broccoli, you can't go wrong there. And again, it's really not intimidating. Like I said, the longest thing was just the cooking process, and I mean, we saw that it took just between the first and second breaks.
Yeah, because like I was telling you off camera, man, it's, you know, anytime I've heard risotto, I'm like, oh, man, that sounds, and looks hard to do, but this is actually not that bad.
Not at all. Not at all.
And it doesn't take long.
No, and it's not intimidating like everyone thinks it is.
Yeah.
You know, TV dramatics add a lot of intimidation.
Absolutely.
But that is basically the whole thing right there.
Man, that looks good, man.
Yeah.
Look, that's good looking stuff. All right, man. Chef Chris, thanks so much for being here, man. It's always good to see you.
Thanks again for having me.
Absolutely. And we got more recipes from Chef Chris Kizer. You know where to go, myhighplains.com. It is 6:45.